So guys, for the record, this video is not to bash anybody. This video is for my cake sisters to learn. If you're a home baker, you're a new baker, or you've been baking since forever, this video is just for you to learn and, you know, to laugh a little because we live and learn, right? Anyways, yeah, let me give you guys a background to the story. Yes, so I was in medical school and I was in 4th year, and at this time I was basically a struggling medical student, right? Yes, my parents paid most of my fees, but I had to supplement some of my fees and also pay my rent and also feed myself with the business, yeah? And I had been running the business at this point for about 2 years. So I depended a lot on it. So that's the background. And to also say that, yeah, let's call this customer Mary, and her friend, let's call her friend Jane. And she had been my customer for about 2 years because the year before, the previous year, she ordered a birthday cake and we had some issues with that, and like she basically like overreacted and apologized. And that's not a big deal, you know. People have, you know, on their events they usually are very tense and stuff, so I usually try to understand that. And also the year before, she ordered a cake from me, this Mary, and I think she was having a bad day and she was just rude and mean, and like she said all sorts of things. She didn't like the cake, she didn't like the color. Okay, I changed the color. She didn't like a bunch of stuff on the cake. So as she was making different comments, I was changing them. Yes, so at the end, this was after she picked up the cake, yeah. So at a point, yeah, this was the previous year, at a point I got really mad and I was like, okay, don't worry, I'll come pick up, bring the cake and I'll give you your money back. And she was really still upset and stuff. At the point I was like, okay, don't worry, I'll come and pick it up myself. And at this point, it was a day before her birthday and it was already at 9 p.m. And at this point, yeah, I was so mad at myself because I remember the year before, I was telling myself I was going to be really careful with this customer or I was not going to take her order again. So I was really mad at myself that, like, how can this happen to you the second time? This person gave you shit the first time and they're giving you the shit the second time because you allowed it. So at this point, I was like, okay, I'll come and take my cake. Please send me your address. And then I can't even really remember what happened with that cake. And then she stopped talking. Send me your address. I even tried calling her. She wasn't picking or something. I can't really remember that much. This was about almost 10 years now. Oh, Jesus, I'm old. No, not 10 years, like maybe 6 years. Anyways, so she stopped picking my calls in the night. And in the morning, I thought she was going to send her address or anything. She didn't say anything until the day after. It was on a Sunday. I was on my way to church. And then she sent a message. She sent a voice note, actually, that she's sorry. She was just having a really bad day. It was a nice cake. Our friends liked the cake. You know, the people that came to celebrate our birthday with her liked the cake and everything. Okay, no problem. That kind of made me really mad because I remembered, like, the year before I told myself, we're not going to do this and I'm going to be very careful with this customer. But this particular year, after all of this had happened and she had apologized, it was on a Sunday, I was on the way to church, and I told myself that I'm never going to take an order from this person, right? Okay, so remember I promised myself, right? Fast forward a year later. I was always looking for money, guys. Anyways, fast forward a year later, she came and then she said she wanted to order a cake and stuff. And I thought to myself that it's really big of her to have apologized. Most people would not apologize. They would just, you know, leave you hanging and not say anything. Anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to take the order and be very careful. Okay, so our birthday was on a Monday this particular year, right? And then she wanted to celebrate it on Saturday. So she wanted 2 cakes, right? She wanted a cake for Monday evening that maybe she can cut with her friends or something. I don't know what the plan was. And then she wanted another more elaborate cake on Saturday when she was going to have her party. Okay, so, and remember from the previous year, yeah, I'd made a mental note of her birthday and decided that if this person comes again, even if she doesn't come to me directly and she sends her friends, I'm not going to take this order. But at this point here, I really needed money, right? Anyways, plus I felt like, oh, it was big of her to apologize, so I'm just going to be really careful. I'll still take the order anyways. So this was where, like, this one was my fault, and I'm going to be really honest. This was my fault. But like from this, I learned how to not handle this kind of situation in the future, right? Anyway, so she said she wanted 2 cakes, remember? So on Monday, she called me. In my mind, right, the cakes she ordered was for Saturday. I forgot that she said she wanted the first cake for Monday, and then the second cake would be on Saturday. I thought both cakes were for Saturday. So on Monday in the afternoon, I think around 12, that day I didn't have anything to do in school, so I was at home, luckily for me, and I was at home with my friend. So she called and she was like, a cake, she'll come and pick it up by 3. Jesus. The mistake I made was saying, which cake? Oh, Jesus. Guys, she went ballistic. I know this was my fault. Like, I would never do this again, right? Like, she went ballistic, guys. Anyways, she was so mad. How do I mean which cake? She told me her cake was for Monday, so I haven't done any cake. Oh, this bitch is trying me. She was so mad. So I told her, okay, please, I'm going to hang up. Just give me 30 minutes. I'll call you back. So I hung up and I went to speak to my friend and we strategized. And I immediately I started baking. I looked at the order. I looked at our chat and saw that she wanted a cake for that day. It was a chocolate cake. Yeah. So I started baking it. I put it in the oven, and then me and my friend decided we're going to go buy the things we needed to decorate the cake, because she said she needed it for that day in the evening. So that was how I started running around, guys. I was running from pillar to post. Anyway, so I called her back and she was so mad. She was so angry. Oh, how can I do this to her? This is so irresponsible. This bitch, you did this last year too. You did, she was so mad. The things she was saying to me were really inappropriate, but I knew I was at fault. So, you let people be mad when you've messed up, basically. Anyways, we ran around and everything, and we put the cake together, right? Oh no, I'm making a mistake. This was on Saturday. Oh yeah, guys, I made a mistake here. The birthday, this was on Saturday. I'm telling you, I was at home. Our birthday was supposed to be for Monday. Yes, our birthday was on Monday, but she wanted to have a party on Saturday. Yes, so this was the party day and there was no cake. Yes, I remember now. So I was really everything was so messed up. So anyways, we ran around and we bought the stuff. And guys, she was calling me every hour. At 1 hour interval, she would call and talk and just be mad. Jesus. And be calling me all sorts of names. But I knew I was in the wrong, and you can't really talk back at the customer, especially if you've done a shitty job of messing up their date. Anyways, so she called at intervals, and at different times she would be really rude and say all sorts of things to me. And at this point I was running elter skelter. The cake was baked. When we got back home, the cake was already done. I removed everything in my freezer, and then I wrapped the cakes and put them in the freezer so they can cool up really fast. So they cooled up really, really fast, and then I decorated the cake. Our party was supposed to be for 9 p.m. So at this point, when she called me first, it was around 3 to 9 p.m. is 6 hours. 6 hours is a long time, right? 6 hours is enough time to decorate and put a cake together. If you watch cake shows, 6 hours is a long time to even make an elaborate cake, 2, 3, 4 tiers. But the cake she wanted was, it was a rainbow cake kind of. It had a rainbow design, but it was just it's one tier and just I think 4 layers or so. So it wasn't a huge thing that I couldn't pull off. But what the mistake I made was telling her that when she called and I was which cake. That really upset her, because she felt I shouldn't have said that. I should have just said, oh please, let me call you back or something so I can figure myself out. Anyways, guys, she was really mad. She was rude to me. She called me all sorts of names. She was really, really, really mad. And at some point I felt it was bordering on bullying. Because she would call every hour and say bitch. If it's 9 p.m. and I don't see, if it's 7 p.m. and I don't see a cake, or all sorts of things, just threatening, guys. Anyways, I shall put everything together. I tried to do everything, and then I made her 2 boxes of cupcakes. I mean, guys, 24 extra boxes of cupcakes, just to apologize, to say I'm sorry. They were free cupcakes, right? So me and my friend, when it was already around, no, she said her party was 7. Yes. So when it was around 6:30, everything was ready. We took a taxi. She didn't pay for taxi or anything, right? And guys, she had not paid for this cake. At that time, I didn't used to take orders in advance, right? This cake had not been paid for. and she didn't pay for delivery or anything, right? So guys, I feel like I need to give you a backstory on the fact that, like, on why deposit was not paid. It wasn't her fault, right? So at that time, yeah, my business was new and I was not very confident in myself or in my skills. So I was grateful enough that people would buy from you. So from me, so I didn't even want to bother them with the idea of having to pay to leave something for booking. And that really showed me a lot of pepper, guys. Like, some people would order a cake and not pick it up and block me. Anyways, that's that's story for another day. So she had not paid for this cake and she didn't pay for delivery either, but I told, like, so she sent me the address to bring the cake to. So me and my friend, we called a taxi, yeah, and we were going, and we called a taxi, and there was hold up. It was around 7 p.m. Like, that was the time, like, people usually close and go home in Ukraine. So, like, there was hold up. So it took us a lot longer than it would have taken us if it was maybe during the day or something. Okay. It was, peak traffic period, basically. So on the way, yeah, she said, at first she said we should bring it to her house. We're already on our way to her house, yeah, when she said, no, we should take it to the restaurant where she was having her party. So we had to tell the taxi driver to turn around. And each time I call her or she calls me, Jesus, a bunch of insults, right? And you have to remember that there are some of our friends in the background, like, you can hear them saying, oh, that foolish girl, she thinks she's fine, all sorts of things, just gingering her up. I didn't know these friends, but you can hear them in the background saying all sorts. Anyways, at the point, yeah, we're almost at the restaurant, right? So I called her. We were at the restaurant, yes, and at this point it was already around like past 7. When I entered, I wanted to go drop the cupcakes first. My friend was holding the cake in the car. Oh, God bless Mariam, that it was a horrible day. Anyways, so when I entered with the cupcakes, I saw like the bouncer at the place and nobody was there. They were not there yet. So I kind of was, the way she was really mad and screaming and yelling, I thought maybe the party had started or it was for 7. So the guy told me it was for 9, and that really like just made me feel some sort of way. Like, this girl is having so much fun, just being horrible to me. Anyways, when I went back to the car, I called her and I was like, oh, there's nobody there. Should we leave the cake? So our friend picked up the call, and then the friend started to say things like, you idiot, is that where they told you to go? That was when I got mad. I was like, shut the fuck up and don't talk to me like that. Jesus, guys, you need to see how fast she hung up that call. So anyways, at that point, right, I realized that like I have had enough. Like, the party was supposed to be 9, but she told me it was supposed to be 7. Imagine I had extra 2 hours. But it wasn't a place to give me time because she already placed an order and she told me beforehand. Anyways, but I felt like I shouldn't let people talk to me like that because I made a mistake, right? Anyway, so the food was ready at this point and she told us to leave it at the restaurant. So it was a cake and then some pictures, 2 boxes of extra cupcakes that were cooked. Anyway, so the so apparently she did like, she said all sorts of things there. I tried to move it. I think it's and guys, you can just like YouTube, but was a big deal to me. Like, I worked so hard to get to 800 followers. Yeah. And that was like, Instagram was the primary place I was taking photos and stuff. So it really like put it down. So the experience sometimes my friends I'll call this person for you now. I'm telling you, because like my heart, like every time that day, if she called, my heart would beat so fast. Like, anyways, you need to learn. Yeah, if you want your cake business done enough, you know that sometimes you forget an order, and it's how you handle it and how you try to make the order for the customer that matters. So thank you guys for always watching my videos. I love you so much. This was fun. Bye.